Okay, Anthony, I have some crazy facts for you about every president that are going to shock you to know. But I'm not going to go through every single president because that's a lot of them. Do you know how many presidents we've had?
46.
Very good. I'm impressed that you knew that.
Wow. I knew that because Trump was so happy he was 45. If it wasn't for that, I would have no idea.
Right. All right, so I'm not going to go through all of them, but let me give you some of the highlights of some wacky things that our presidents have been through or done that you might not know about.
Okay.
Look, okay, George Washington. George Washington died of a throat infection. His personal doctor was called because he's, you're the president's doctor, but he got there too late. Instead of examining the body and giving the time of death, doctor things, he tried to cryogenically freeze him, which is pretty woke for 1799. Like, there was no cryogenic freezing.
There was no ice then. Was there?
So he was like cold water, put his body in cold water.
Right.
And then he was like, well, hang on a minute. And he knew about zombies. So he went a step further. He tried to do a transfusion with lamb's blood to George Washington. He tried to turn George Washington into a zombie.
How cool. Oh, that's the next movie on Sci-Fi.
Zombie George Washington.
Yeah, that could have sequels to it. That's awesome. That's a movie. With his wooden teeth and everything and his fake hair. He's a zombie. I want to watch that.
But that's actually kind of funny, like a zombie with wooden teeth. It's like brains. Yeah, try and bite me. Come on. Bring your wooden teeth.
And his fake hair and his white hair is like, aren't you the dollar bill guy? He's like, brains.
You can't eat my brain with wooden teeth. That's ridiculous. Okay, James Madison, do you know what number president?
6.
4th. Very close. I'll give that one to you. He was so sure that we were going to defeat the British in the War of 1812 that on the last day of the war, he had this huge, elaborate meal prepared. He had the best wines. He had everything for the generals and their families to just celebrate the White House. But that's not how it went. We lost. Mm-hmm. Madison had to flee. The Brits took over Washington, D.C. They ate all the food. They drank all the wine. And then they set the White House on fire and they burned it down.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Where did he go?
Oh, I don't know. He fled somewhere.
Okay.
Wherever you flee. Wherever you fleed in 1814. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got 2 crazy first lady stories for you.
Okay.
So our 12th president, Zachary Taylor, he was the first person to coin the term first lady. So he was giving a eulogy about how amazing Dolly Madison was because she died during his term. And he says, she will never be forgotten because she was truly our first lady for a half century. Mm-hmm. And they went, first lady. That's pretty good. We like that. So it stuck after he used that term describing Dolly Madison. So before we called FLOTUS
the donut
FLOTUS,
lady?
No, President Madison's wife.
Oh, but she owns donuts.
No, that's a different Dolly Madison. So I got a little quiz for you.
Okay.
Okay, so before we called them first ladies, before they were FLOTUS, were they called the first wife, the wife of the president, the presidentress, Madam President, or Lady of the White House?
It's going to have to be wife of the president.
The presidentress.
That's stupid.
They actually called them the presidentress.
I've never heard that in my life.
See, that's why you're learning some stuff about our history.
That's
some
the
crazy
name of my
stories.
next band.
The presidentresses.
Yeah.
Here's the second first lady story I thought you'd like. So when Grover Cleveland, he was the 22nd and the 24th president. When Grover Cleveland first took office, he was unmarried. So his sister Rose stepped in as first lady, but she was a lesbian. And she was in a long-term committed relationship that we have since found the love letters. So it was sort of known then, but nobody outed her because she was gentry and they didn't want to do that, So she was actually the first gay person we had in the White House, and that was 1885.
But they didn't live in a White House. He lived in a trash can.
Grover Cleveland was the president. Grover. Yeah. Anyway, here's a couple more current ones. Richard Nixon tried to change the White House staff uniforms to make them look like a little more like little generals. Like he had the admiral things on the shoulders and he had all these buttons and stuff. But they ended up looking like children in marching bands, and they got made fun. He got made fun of in the press, and it was the biggest joke. So they had to scrap the idea, and they donated the uniforms to a nearby high school's marching band.
So it was a marching band uniform.
It was.
It actually was.
Yeah, and the kids that wore for the marching band were like, finally, new uniforms. Yeah. I have two more good ones for you. JFK, John F. Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
His brain is missing.
Of course it is. It's on the back of the Lincoln.
Oh, I see what you're saying, because he got shot. Yeah. Well, there was some brain left, I guess. So
okay.
Following his autopsy, his brain was stored in the National Archives, which apparently has a section for brains. But in 1966...
That's where George Washington zombie would break into. I'm writing this movie right now. Yeah, he goes, and there's those jars with the bubbles.
Yep.
And there's all the brains, and then the zombie George Washington is like, woo's John F. Kennedy, and he goes down, and yeah.
Wait a minute, that's where John F. Kennedy's brain is, because it's missing. They found out in 1966. They couldn't find it. It was missing. You're right. Zombie George Washington ate JFK's brain.